Peace to everybody out there, man. Mostly Israel, home and abroad. When I say home, I'm talking about America. When I say abroad, I'm talking about the rest of the world. If they do be able to watch videos from America on YouTube. Philosophies, man. We all sit and we pay attention to the philosophies that are given to us or that pertain to us, right? In respective regions of the world. India, it's Hinduism. China is Buddhism. And Europe is Christianity, Islam. The Middle East is Islam, Jewish. South America, Christianity. I don't really know what else they have there. But then you go back in antiquity, you have the Romans, which and the Greeks with the mythos, or the mythology of Zeus and Poseidon and Odin. This is the Vikings, Odin and Thor and Hercules. What people don't understand about these things are those are the same exact gods. They're the same exact ones. And when you don't know that, and you don't understand that, you miss the totality of the story, right? So then they take Semiramis and they make Tammuz, Jesus, and Semiramis is Mary. So now you're thinking, well, everything is the same, right? But this is the thing. The Hebrews didn't worship those gods. Only when they started to go off. This is a very important part of the story of the Israelites and the Jews, right? This is very important. If you are paying attention, really, listen. The Israelites never worshipped Zeus, Odin, Horus, Enki, and Enlil. Those were the ruling gods of all the other nations, right? There was also women that was with them. Semiramis, Isis, Nefertiti, all these, not Nefertiti. Nefertiti was a queen, but Isis and I can't remember the rest of their names and the other mythological teachings. They're all the same being, right? If one is dealing with water, one may be dealing with air, one may be dealing with both, or whatever the case may be. Love, hate, war. These are the same exact gods throughout time and throughout different places, just saying that their names are something different. But the Jews never worshiped them. They worshiped the ultimate creator, which Enki and all of them knew, which this is their original names. Enki, Enlil, those are their original names. You have to go to the Sumerian teachings to learn what their original names were. But Israel never worshipped them. Abraham left Samaria when the Most High, using one of the children of Enlil to teach the world about the actual Father, the creator force, the one, right? He is the one that creates everything. All creation comes from light. All creation. Darkness comes from light. The absence of light is darkness, right? But Israel never dealt with them. Always was telling people, listen, if they're not around, you have no power. When they're not around, you can't do anything. When they're not around, you're praying to them for no reason. We don't worship God. We don't worship the Father. He doesn't need it. He doesn't want it. He doesn't care for it. A real being of omnipotence, a real creator force, doesn't care about worship, about a sacrifice, about sin or not sin, because he can't do it himself. So his his spirit has nothing to do with those type of things. Those come from beings below the force of righteousness. That's why Christ says, I'm not good. There's only one that's good, because he can't do any evil whatsoever. Not even close. He tells you himself, I can't even lie. I can't even harm myself. And if everything and anything comes from him, that means he can't destroy it. Even evil comes from him. He can't destroy it. This is what the Gnostic teachings is about. This is what the Hermetic teachings is from one of the sons of Eliel, which is part of the Archons, which abandoned his fathers, which is a new, and in the Gnostic Bible, about Yaldabaoth, which came from Sophia. That's who that is. But people don't take the time to learn anything. We sit and we go and learn about what these other people are telling us is wrong. We don't even take the time to study for ourselves. Study to show thyself approved. You can't even prove yourself to the Most High that you are worthy of it when you worshiping his offspring. You worship his offspring. When you take that star and you put it everywhere, you're worshiping his offspring. That's why you're not supposed to make an image of anything above or below, because everything is of God. How can you contain God in a box? That's what it was about. You're the image of God. So you have to uphold that image. You are the image of the earth. You have to uphold that image. You're the only thing on the earth that can actually give the earth voice. The earth can speak for itself, but you give the earth a voice. You give the trees voice. You give the animals voice. That's the image of God. Not a painting, not a 6-point star, not a yarmulke, I forgot the thing where it has the 7 candlesticks. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I can't figure it out. Yeah, Christ celebrated holiday, the high holy days that was established in the wars of Israel. But every holy day in the world is established off of winning wars. Every single one. That's a tradition of every nation. It's hard for people to gather these things and realize what they really are standing for, what they are really coming from. People don't understand it. See, when Tammuz Marduk was born, he was the heir of whatever Enki and Enlil had, right? Marduk came from Enlil. Enlil was the rightful heir. Enlil, whatever the fuck, I don't care. And he is the one that you worship on December 25th, Marduk. You don't worship Christ. Christ has nothing to do with it. It's not Nimrod. Nimrod was token or what is it? Like a face for the actual thing. But you actually worship Marduk. They do these things in secret, and hidden esoteric teachings teach you this. And the powers that be, I won't tell you who the powers that be are, because you know what? It's not a secret And the only reason I don't want to do it is because I understand that my life is already at jeopardy by exposing that all these gods are actually the same. And they all, and the thing is, what the powers that be are actually doing is that they're containing everybody in materialism and in things that is actually fake that they can control, which is money. They can't control religion because religion is only culture and belief in the invisible. Not the belief, but the knowledge of the invisible, right? These gods are they're obtainable, but they're never here. They phase in and out periodically. They'll come and they'll leave. Generations would go past without them being here. Decades would pass without them being here. And that is something that those that understand these philosophies, I don't like calling it religion anymore, they're actually philosophies, are actually spiritual knowledge of the man's dealings with the spiritual world of mind, the mind of the Father, I don't want to say Father, the creator force. The creator force, everything is created from mind. His mental thoughts create all of this, right? From his mental thoughts. We are attributes of that. And philosophies bring you back unto him in his purest form, where he has no attributes of a human. He doesn't get mad, sad, happy. He doesn't eat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't give and take in marriage. He doesn't do these unnecessary things that men do. So when you are on Christmas telling your children to give a deity, which is Santa, which is another made up deity, you're telling them this is how you obtain power, through food. It's an aspect of it, depending on the mental fortitude of your child. But all of this is linked. Everything that you know and see is linked within these social constructs, where if you abandon the major key, when you abandon the major key, you miss the points. You miss the whole thing. You're like, oh, well, the Jews gave us the Bible to control us. You abandoning the major key. You have knowledge of things, which can help mankind further into its next step. But you abandoning the key, the Bible. That's a major key. It's major. It's giving you back your culture. It's giving you back your identity. Once you have an identity, now you can build upon that. I'll give you an example. In America, the first thing you learn when you're a baby is language. You don't, before you even start walking, you're talking, right? You're trying to say dada, you're trying to say mama, you're talking about food, drink. This is the things you're doing, right? Language. Then you learn what it means to be a boy or a girl within that culture that you're in, black or white, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever you are, right? That's the next step, culture. We do this, we go here, we eat this, we celebrate this. This is how we celebrate things. Culture, right? Now you get older, you start to learn how to read your language. Next step. That's the next step of your growth. You learn how to read your language. Then you learn how the words describes your culture. This is all learning process of a baby up into a full-grown man. This is part of you having identity. So when they take your identity and they tell you you're American, that's what they do. All those things. So now when you learn that you're Israelite, you learn all these things. You learn you're Hebrew. You're a Hebrew. You learn that you stem from that lineage of Shem. You learn your language, your culture, high holy days, your laws, how you celebrate your high holy days. That's your culture. Now, let's talk about when you get into middle school, when you become mid-adult, high school, mid-adult. You start learning about science and mathematics. But they don't link the two. They keep them separate. All right? In the Hebrew or in the Shemitic knowledge, they linked the two, mathematics and science. That's what it is. So now you go into the Hermetics and you go into the Sumerians and you go into the creation of men. Yes, the devil created us, but he isn't God. He isn't the creator. He isn't God, but he isn't a creator. He's not a force. You become stronger than him through the force that was used to create you through him. This is what it is. This is the knowledge. Science is the next level after you learn your culture. It's really that simple. Hermetics, Gnostic, all of that. You can learn what happens after you die. You can learn how to navigate when you die. You can learn these things. But we, as a culture, as a people, we're told that there's nothing that you can know. You can't find it out. There's nothing that can tell you what happens after you die. Like, those beings didn't come and tell us this is what happens. Made this video a little longer than I wanted. I'm Furious Black, and that's science, baby.